Hey now, welcome back. There are two types of teams, one that applies the pressure and one that feels the pressure. And tonight, the Dallas Cowboys felt the pressure. Now, although the Baltimore Ravens and the Baltimore Ravens fans, we felt the pressure like the whole fourth quarter, as the Dallas Cowboys drove up and down the field on us with the helps of the refs, of course. But we'll get into that later. So I want to do my quick game recap. It is very late here in Baltimore. I have work in the morning, but I had to get my notes together and come at you with my with my take on the game. I also refer to a lot of the post game stats and things of that nature. So let me get to it. I'm going to read what I have. It's easy for me to get off topic because I be so excited, but I'm gonna try to stick to the script. All right, so we're gonna talk. I'm gonna be all over the place, but y'all gonna be able to follow me. So Simpson, I'm talking about the Ravens defense at the moment. Simpson and Wiggins made their presence felt. They both had key stops on defense. Nate Wiggins had one in particular in the red zone, well, in the end zone, a crucial one with CD Lamb. It would have resulted in a tutty. However, it resulted in a pass interference play, which got canceled out by an offensive foul back up the field. So they both got canceled out. I think it threw Dallas into a fourth down situation. So I think they punted, they kicked, they made the field goal. I'm not really sure what it resulted, but I just know that the touchdown didn't stand because CeeDee Lamb was having a hissy fit, in the end zone. But so Nate Wiggins did have a couple other stops other than that one. That was really crazy how that worked out. It worked out in our favor, the Baltimore Ravens' favor. But like I said, Simpson and Wiggins, they were all over the field. They made their presence known. It was really great to have Wiggins back because we needed him. It turns out we needed him. Our secondary did really, really well until the fourth quarter, but we'll get to that. Adafe Owe with a bogus ass penalty on holding and roughing the passer. Those two bogus penalties kept Dallas alive in those two different series. It gave them a fresh set of downs. Both the penalties occurred on a third or fourth down, and fourth down. But it resulted in a fresh set of downs for Dallas, which kept them in the game and alive. So that was it for Dafe Owe, but he was still he was good at his position. He played his position. He was dominant. And I don't have his stats, but he was dominant. So Matabike had one, maybe two bogus calls as well. All these things occurred like in the fourth quarter. I think the Baltimore Ravens had like 2 or 3 penalties in the first half alone. That's all. And then maybe one in the third quarter. The fourth quarter is just like the dam broke. But Matabike had 2 bogus calls as well. The officiating was next to none during the first half, but they piled it on the entire third and fourth quarter, namely the fourth quarter, and which helped move Dallas up and down the field, resulting in a few scoring drives. Those calls literally put them back in play, along with the momentum they needed to go for 3 straight unanswered scoring drives, resulting in a couple of touchdowns and I think a field goal. That onside kick was wicked too, wicked as fuck. The second attempt was not so much, so they didn't. The second attempt, of course, they're gonna attempt it again. They were successful in the first attempt, which resulted in a touchdown. But the second attempt, this time, Zay Flowers was able to hold on to the ball, so that was a blessing for us. It gave us good field position as well. I think at the 50-yard line, at the 50-yard line, the Ravens had to deliver a first down to keep the drive alive with only a minute left in regulation and hold on to that lead. Bomb to Zay Flowers sealed the deal. Mission accomplished along with the run. I forgot how many yards, but I know Lamar ran at the very last few seconds of the game. He ran and got the first down. And so with that, of course, we won the game. We sealed the deal. Just had to run the clock out. That was too fast. I was saving that for the end, but I went on and did it. My voice is gone. Y'all know how I am at the game time. My voice is gone. I look a little flushed. And so I had to wait for my heart rate to get back down before I did this. I was like I was last week with the Raiders, but I'll do that. I got to do that tomorrow because they just pissed me off. So let's talk about the pass rush. So Kyle Hamilton surprisingly was all over the field tonight. He played wild and free like he should have been playing the whole 2 games. Maybe he's feeling better from his injuries. I'm not really sure. Whatever happened last week, in practice and in meetings and stuff, they got their shit together. So the defense really played like the defense of last year. I was so relieved and impressed, until the fourth quarter, of course. But so Kyle Hamilton made multiple tackles, and he had this one tackle. I think I have it in my notes, but he had this one tackle. I forgot who he tackled. Let me see if I have it, because I want to say it really, really. I want to say it like it's supposed to be said, but I'll get to it later. But Kyle Hamilton had this one tackle. He stopped an offensive player, and it was so impactful that he ripped his helmet off at the end, stood up, and I guess I don't know if something was going on with his helmet, or he just felt pumped because he stopped. He made a stop. I'm not really sure what that was all about, but it was definitely impressive to see Kyle back to being super duper Kyle. And let's see, Kyle Van Noy, the sack monster he had at least 2 sacks this game. Both on he had 2. He had and they both occurred on third downs. His second sack knocked Dallas out of field goal range. He was eating all game, and he definitely made his presence known as well. He did last week. I think last week he had 2 sacks too on Gardner Minshew. The secondary, Humphrey shut it down. He shut CeeDee Lamb down. CeeDee may have had 4 catches for, I don't know. I just know he didn't get into the end zone. That's what I know. And he was pissed about that. He was having hissy fits all on the sideline. But, like, why? Like, you got your money. You still played. You played to the best of your abilities. The Ravens just shut you down. That's all. And so shout out to Marlon Humphreys for holding CeeDee Lamb to pretty much nothing. I'm really going to go over the stats later on. I'll probably do it midweek like I do my midweek to transition into the next week, because we have the Buffalo Bills next week. And Matabike with an end zone sack. To me, it was a safety. In my opinion, it was a safety. But, of course, Dak Prescott, got rid of the ball before he was down. And his lineman received the ball. So I just think it should have been a call on that illegal player, or whatever the call is for that. If, for the player who doesn't belong there, who shouldn't be receiving the ball. You know what I'm saying? But he couldn't get called for intentional grounding because it didn't hit the ground. But there should have been a penalty right there, but it wasn't. They got away with another one. And so, but yeah, Beaks did have that major stop in the end zone. So shout out to Matabike. He had a great day too. Take away the bogus penalties, and he was good. I think the Ravens had 13 penalties for 105 yards to Dallas's 6 penalties for like 40 yards or something. It was off. I mean, and this all happened like the fourth. We had like two or three penalties in the first half. The rest came pretty much in the fourth quarter. So let me see. The first drive of the game was very impressive. A mix of the run and pass game, like it always is. It's always a very impressive first drive. It's just when we finally get into the funky mix of the game is when we just, I don't know, fall apart, or we just look discombobulated, like I'm talking right now because I'm so tired. But oh my God, I ain't put no makeup on. But anyway, so let's shout out to Nelson Aguilar for his one reception for 51 yards that set up Derrick Henry with a massive 2-yard rush, push rush. What's it called? Push rush. It might have been 3 yards for a touchdown, but it was a hard 3 yards. But he got that 3 yards for a touchdown. So shout out to Nelson Aguilar for that massive catch and run. Took it 51 yards, almost made it to the end zone. And let's see what else. The defense. Okay, so one thing I didn't like about the first half was the defense was letting the Cowboys hang around. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, not the defense. The offense was letting the Cowboys hang around. Like going into the second half, the end of the second half, it was going into it. It was 14. Wait a minute. The first half was 14-3 going into the second half. Wait a minute, the second half or second quarter? That was the second quarter. So going into the second quarter, the score was 14-3. And I was like, why are they letting them hang around? Why are we not scoring? What's going on? But then the Ravens went 2 drives without scoring on the first half, but ended up the half on top with the scoring drive going into the first half. So the first half, I think it was 20, going into the locker room was 21. to 6. I think we kept them at field goals, so that was pretty good. Let me see. On the second half, Bateman scored his first touchdown of the season to secure, an 18-point lead going into the second half. So Bateman scored a touchdown, and I was so happy for him. He was wide open, and Lamar didn't miss it this time. He was wide the fuck open, and so that was great for Bateman. Shout out to him. And let me see. Going to the second half. So the second half, the Ravens offense. Let me see. The Ravens third quarter opening drive. We ran. Let me see. The run game was in effect. Henry putting people on highlight reels, stiff arm. You know how Henry does. He's probably gonna make the angry ones player of the week. So that we'll find out on Tuesday. So he put people on highlight reels. He went for 29 yards, ultimately setting up his 26-yard touchdown run a couple of plays later. So shout out to Henry. And that. Oh, my bad. And then that took the Ravens up to 28-6, I believe, 28-6. And that's when the flag started dropping. The flag started coming out of nowhere. It was just like drop. Only on the Baltimore Ravens. Like every time there was a flag. And that's what got me pissed and got my heart rate going. I was like, here they go with the bull crap. You know what I really want to say. But here they go with the bull crap, with the flags and every little thing, nitpicky. It's like if you're not going to be nitpicky the first half of the game, don't flip it the second half of the game when the Ravens are on top. So I think they have it out for the Ravens this year. I'm not really sure, but we have to dominate. We have to dominate each game to leave space for the referees. So we can have enough give where we can not afford to have penalties, but they're gonna come. They're just gonna come. And so the defense dominated at the line of scrimmage. That was impressive. And so was our O-line. Shout out to the O-line. Lele, you did really, really well this game. And Lamar shouted you out during the post-game presser. And so he pretty much, I'll talk about that later. And the pass defense was looking poised and stout until the fourth quarter. They were energized. They were all over the place, flying all around until the fourth quarter. Then they turned back into that damn pumpkin, giving up hella air yards to Dak and the boys. Still, CeeDee Lamb was pretty much shut out. So he didn't get any of that. He didn't eat today. He didn't earn his check. And the end of the third quarter, the Ravens were up 28-6. Henry had Henry 18 carries at that time in the game. Henry had 18 carries for $125 and 2 tutties. Cowboy know he had 2 sacks by then. Now keep that in mind. Henry had 18 carries for $125. That was at the end of the third quarter. And the Ravens were up 28-6. So by the end of the game, the Ravens still had their 28 points, but the Dallas Cowboys had 25 points. They scored 21 unanswered points. 21 unanswered points. That's crazy. With the help of the referees, of course. The officiating was, I don't even talk about it because I'm going to get my heart rate up again. So the roughing the passer call and the hands to the face call was some bull crap. That went against the Baltimore Ravens, of course, and they pretty much came back to back. It's always the refs giving our opponents like they did last week in the Raiders game. I was happy, but I was pissed as well because I saw it. And sorry, I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs game. But the refs gave Devontae Adams that PI call, and it wasn't even PI on Brandon Stevens. So, and then Marlon Humphrey's got a PI call earlier that game, and that wasn't even. So it's just a lot of, it's just a lot. But the roughing the passer call was bullshit. He did not pick Dak Prescott up and slam him. He fell softly on his booty. That's how that was. So so then they put me see. Those calls literally the roughing the passer call and the hands to the face call literally put Dak Prescott and the boys back in play, along with the momentum they needed to go for 3 straight unanswered scoring drives. Oh yeah, and that onside kick was nasty work. So nasty that they decided to do it again. Of course, like I said earlier, it didn't work. So that was a failed attempt, and we got good field position. The final play of the game was Lamar with the fake jet sweep up the middle for the first down, and that sealed the game. They just, ran the clock out, took a knee here, took a knee there, ran the clock out. So let me run through some of the Ravens' final stats. Time of possession was 34.45. Total yards was 456. Offensive yards total. Penalties was 13 for 105. Third down efficiency was 4 for 9. First downs was 24. Derrick Henry stats. Derrick Henry ended the game with 25 for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Holding it down in the trenches with 274 yards rushing and 3 tutties. Shout out to the O-line. Lamar had 182 yards through the air and 1 tutty. Nelly, of course, with his 1 catch for 56 yards. That was major in the game. That was so major. Oh, my God. It set Derrick Henry up for the touchdown. And Derrick Henry had 3. I think he had 3. 2 touchdowns? I don't know why I thought he had 3. And I think he had 3. I really do. Who else got Bateman and Derrick Henry? They were the only ones that got to the end zone. So Derrick Henry had 2. That's 14. Unless Justin Tucker missed something. But he had, so that's 2. That's 14. And Bateman had 1. That's 21. Yeah, so it had to be Derrick Henry with 3. He had to have 3 touchdowns. I don't know. Who else had a touchdown? Derrick Henry. I don't know. Let me get up this damn. Let me hurry up. Let me hurry up, y'all. Oh, my God. Let me see the finale. So no sacks for Jackson. Lamar was sackless this game. And the O-line did their freaking job today. They held it down in the trenches. Fa'alele had a good one. Lamar, like I said, shouted him out. He said for all y'all that was dragging Fa'alele publicly, loud and publicly last week, y'all need to praise him loud and publicly this week. That's pretty much what he said during his presser. And they pretty much said that they all got together. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, had to talk with the O-line, and let them know how important it is for them to get together, to build that camaraderie, and to play off each other and play with each other and support each other and have each other's backs if they want to go forward in this season. And they have a tough schedule ahead of them with the Buffalo Bills coming up next, and their defense ain't no joke. Now, granted, they haven't really played. Who they play? They played the Dolphins, and they played. Who did they play? I don't know who they played, but yeah, they didn't really play anybody for real. So they have to have that mentality going forward, and pick up the slack where one is slack and the other one has to have their back. So, but they did really good. This is how the offense will look every game. This is how Lamar will play every game if everybody plays their position to the best of their abilities, for real. And I'm see defensive stats. The defensive stats, 1 forced fumble and 3 sacks. And and Kyle Hamilton had a monster stop in the second quarter. So a quick note about the post-game presser with Harbaugh. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. So Harbaugh's made a comment that didn't sit well with me, and I'm sure it probably didn't sit well with you all if you heard it. He was asked, and this is all, it's not verbatim, I'm just paraphrasing it all. So Harbs was asked by a reporter, why didn't they play dominant during the second half in the fourth quarter? And his response was, well, we kind of eased up and played a little conservatively because we had so much of a huge comfortable lead that we decided to play conservatively. That word should not be uttered at all in an NFL locker room or on an NFL field, and definitely not by an NFL head coach. Why would you play conservatively? That's why we always losing these fourth quarter leads, because he wants to play conservatively. If he's not pulling Lamar in the fourth quarter to sit him, let Lamar get his stats. Let him run that ball up on team, run the score up on teams. Let these men play. Let them play ball. Don't pull them. Don't play conservatively. Keep your foot on the brakes. Not the brakes. Keep your foot on. I don't want to say that next. That's too controversial. Keep the pedal to the metal. I'm telling my age. Keep the pedal to the metal, right? Don't let up. And so I'm like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? What is that? Hearing him say that, I had to go back and replay it. I was like, did he just say that? Did he just say that? That's going to be the topic of discussion tomorrow, probably all week, or till Wednesday anyway. Like, why would he even say that? And he didn't look good tonight. Something's wrong with Hobbs. We'll probably find that out in the off season. So that's so not a good answer, and definitely not an answer that you would expect from a head coach. That's a problem with these fourth quarter losses that Baltimore Ravens have now. Playing conservatively is not the answer. It should never be uttered in the locker room or on the field. Keep the pressure on throughout all 4 quarters of every game. You never let up. I don't care if the score is 100-5, not 100-6. You never let up. You never let up. And one funny thing Lamar said during the post presser, he was like, yeah, we had to get it together because, a lot of y'all out there on suicide watch. And I just bust out laughing because he was, of course, he referring to the fan base, but, he probably was on suicide watch too. But I'm just I'm glad that they got the win. They're now 1-2, which you can just exhale a little bit because they look really, really composed and together for all 3 quarters, not so much the fourth. And the play calling got so relaxed and so laid back. That's not what you do, because that's a good team. That's a good football team, and they were at home and they were fighting, scrapping because they didn't want to get blown out like they did last. Well, they didn't get blown out, which was good for them. They did try to come back. They just didn't. They just couldn't pull it off. But they almost did. We almost lost that 21-point lead, like 21-point lead. What the maybe 21 points. I'm not sure. 28. Anyway, so the Ravens came out on top. We got the dub. And Tom Brady gave Derrick Henry some little award. I guess he gives everybody after every game that he calls. But shout out to the Baltimore Ravens. And if you are a Las Vegas Raiders fan checking in on this episode of the Ravens No Fly Zone, I will be doing my Las Vegas Raiders game recap, and it should be up maybe tomorrow or Tuesday by the latest, because I have to really watch it, because I haven't watched it because I'm in Baltimore, so I have to really watch it and get myself together, collect myself, because I heard it was a terrible, terrible loss, and it was at the home opener. So we're gonna talk about that, discuss that. Okay, so peace, y'all, and remember to like, subscribe, comment, and subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, and share, because I would really like for y'all to share. And also remember to, I'm looking to, let me see. I don't really see my little saying that I do at the end of every podcast, but we're just gonna go with found it. Here it is. Trust in your consistency, even if it isn't making any noise yet. Okay, let me get some sleep because it's been a long day, an exciting day. Oh yeah. Let me shout out Malik Willis. Oh, shout out to Malik Willis for beating your former team who traded you to the Green Bay Packers. I forgot how many yards you got, but you got over 200 yards, and you beat them. You beat them, Malik Willis. You beat the Tennessee Titans. Yes, sir. So shout out to Malik Willis. Peace, y'all.